One of the very best things about sport is building strong communities. It's about having people show up not just to be better athletes, but also to be better versions of themselves and people in the world. But banning trans and non-binary athletes harms not only trans and non-binary people, but also all people in sport. It's rooted in sexist notions about how good a woman can be, about who a woman is, and what she should look like and act like in this world. Many of those misconceptions are extremely wrong, and they harm not only trans and non-binary people, but also all women in sport. It's with this idea that teams, leagues, national governing bodies, and every athlete should be considering that idea of community. Sports should be a place where we can all show up to be our best, most authentic, fullest versions of ourselves. And that makes us stronger teammates, stronger competitors, and better people, better community members. I'm proud to stand with JayCee Cooper in saying that sports should be a place for everyone.
Hi, my name is Johnny Stanton, member of the Cleveland Browns. Trans women belong in women's sports. Some of the most essential values of competition are that no matter your race, beliefs, sexual orientation, or gender orientation, you have a chance to compete and win. And banning JayCee Cooper and other transgender athletes from competing in women's sports goes against these values. When every athlete feels supported by the sport's governing body, it benefits the sport as a whole. And the outdated notion that women are supposed to act and look a certain way has no place in today's culture, and that includes sports. It only encourages division and hate in a time when we most need support and love. Promoting these transphobic and sexist beliefs dehumanizes the athletes that work so hard at their craft and just want a chance to compete. Again, trans women belong in women's sports.
Hi, my name is Chris Cluey, former punter for the Minnesota Vikings, and I'm here to say that trans athletes are athletes just like anyone else and should be afforded the same right to compete in sports just like anyone else. It is past time that we end the discrimination against trans athletes and against trans individuals in our society in general. Sports are inherently unfair. There will be people who wanted to be punters who are just never as tall as I am, or who couldn't kick a ball as far as I could because they didn't have the fast twitch fibers in their legs. Yet they were expected to compete against me in order to be an athlete. I will never be able to jump as high as LeBron James, yet I'd be expected to compete against him if I was playing basketball. My torso length would never be as long as Michael Phelps, yet I'd be expected to compete against him if I was a swimmer. So it is just the same discrimination that we've seen time and time again from our society. We saw it when Black individuals were not allowed to compete in sports. We saw it when women weren't allowed to compete in sports. And now we're seeing the same argument again when trans individuals are not allowed to compete in sports. And it is a regressive view, it is a bigoted view, and it's past time we as a society move past it. So I am proud to support JayCee Cooper, and I hope that we as a society can find a better way to treat people the way they deserve to be treated.
Hey everyone, I'm Lori Lindsay, a former U.S. Women's National Team soccer player. One of the best parts of participating in sport is learning the values of equity, inclusion, and building strong communities. Sports are stronger when we all come together to push each other to be the best athletes we can be. That's why it's important to say once and for all, trans women belong in women's sports, period. Everyone in women's sports benefits when we have the most talented athletes participating and when every athlete feels safe and supported on their teams. Banning trans and non-binary people from competing in women's sports goes beyond and against these essential values of equity and inclusion. It's based in sexist, outdated notions about how women are supposed to look and act. Promoting transphobia in sports perpetuates dehumanization of trans people and hurts trans women, athletes, and women's sports as a whole. Sports should be a place where everyone of every gender identity feels empowered to bring their fullest selves. I join trans athletes in fighting to make sure our teams, federations, and competition value inclusion and equity over division and hate. And I am proud to support JayCee Cooper.